Good morning, Trump's family. Have a good day and God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for always watching and subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get into the news. Steve Bannon was found guilty of evading testimony in Congress. Now, the appeals process will likely go to the Supreme Court according to Politico. So there's a Politico article titled, Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon found guilty for refusing to testify to the January panel. And if you look within the article talks about the appeals process, and Bannon's appeals process will likely go to the Supreme Court or could very well go to the Supreme Court. Quote, the viability of that precedent is likely to be at the center of Bannon has appeal and could make its way to the Supreme Court. Bannon is likely to ask Nichols to allow him to remain free while he pursues his appeal, which could take a year or longer. Now, I'll read you. Nichols said the judge said an appeals court precedent from a similar contempt of Congress case decided 61 years ago ruled out the bulk of the defense ban, and Bannon's lawyer said he wanted to present Nichols. A Trump appointee said on several occasions that his view of the 6-decade-old D.C. Circuit ruling was probably incorrect under present legal standards, but as a trial court judge, he was obligated to follow the precedent until an Alexa was overturned. So Steve Bannon is going to challenge a 60-year ruling contempt of Congress case that even the judge that found him guilty believes isn't relevant or isn't legal, when you taken into account today's laws. So under present, the ruling was, quote, probably incorrect under present legal standards. So that is a little bit of the legal side of things. You have Brian Pagliano, who ignored a subpoena by Jason Chaffetz and Congress. He was the top Clinton aide or one of the Clinton staffers that helped run Clinton servers. Hillary Clinton had top secret and special access program intelligence and classified data on servers running outside of the United States government. That is not legal, it is a crime to actually transfer classified data onto those servers. Okay. That is a crime. You cannot do so without breaking laws. That is worse than anything Trump is accused of having done now. I love the New York Post. The New York Post editorial today. I was like what they said, oh, he's unworthy of re-election or running in 2024. Because he spent 3 hours not condemning the chaos and the mayhem, and he tweeted out, bad things towards Pence. And it's like, well, yeah. Should he have condemned? What was taking place sooner rather than later? Sure. Is it possible that there's more to the discussion regarding an interaction between Ted Cruz and a former government official, so I'll leave it at that, or a government spokesperson? Said Ted Cruz, questioned under oath. In a congressional hearing, a spokesperson for the Bureau, he asked how many agents were there. The response was, we cannot give you an answer because of sources and methods, and we can't give you an answer, basically. Okay. That is more suspicious than anything leveled at Trump regarding him throwing his dinner at the wall or trying to commandeer a limousine. You cannot, and this is why half the electorate will always vote for Donald Trump. Thank God, because if you want a great economy, if you want record highs in household median income, in that happened under Trump, if you want real wages up under Trump, a GDP that's growing under Trump, as opposed to real wages down 4.4% under mashed potato brains, a recession contracting economy under Biden, inflation at 9.1%, inflation was at 2% under Trump. Yeah, you're gonna vote half the electorate. Almost half the electorate will always vote for Donald Trump if they want a great economy. And if they want a great foreign policy, the Doha Agreement reversed U.S. foreign policy, the Lincoln Project, the Bush, Cheney and Rumsfeld, and then Clinton, Kerry, and Biden, foreign policy. And Biden completely botched that, but a big reason why over half the electorate will always vote for Trump is because of the double standard. My God Almighty. You have Eric Holder held in criminal contempt of Congress. Okay. Eric Holder, Brian Pagliano, who just ignored a subpoena, and his attorney said, oh, yeah, he's just gonna plead the fifth. So why go? It's like what? You can't just not go. Jason Chaffetz in Congress years back was saying it's not optional. It's not optional. Now Democrats are saying it's not optional. A subpoena is not optional over rule of law has been upheld. Whenever it's them being forced to testify. It's never the rule of law. It's partisan, and you're just wanting to go ahead and make it political. But then when they tried it, when they go after Bannon, it's a little rule of law. Anyway, they don't have an actual crime. And they've ignored subpoenas also. But with Clinton, you actually had a crime. It is a crime to own servers outside of the United States government. That's why, like Democrats' media, they hide within this linguistic and semantic, alternate universe, but her emails, and by the way, I want a Hillary Clinton Donald Trump 2024, believe me. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. According to the Huffington Post, the unofficial scribe of Sanders is most hardcore voters. According to the Washington Post, I'm the biggest Hillary Clinton 2024 Democratic nominee booster fan on the entire internet. Nobody wants Clinton to be nominee more than me on this planet. And I'll tell you why. In addition, I want every left-leaning far-left liberal YouTuber and pundit to tell their viewers to vote for Clinton again. I just want that for a number of reasons. Okay. And I obviously think that she will lose to Trump again. I stated that was one of the few people in 2016 to state that she would lose the Trump, just like I predicted the stock market crash that we're seeing this year. But it is a crime to have top-secret intelligence on private servers. If anybody at The Atlantic or The Washington Post or, any of these, Brookings, can you please explain how top-secret and special access program intelligence and classified data was transferred to private servers outside of the United States government running with a dedicated staff, one of the people being Brian Pagliano, who ignored a subpoena by Jason Chaffetz. And now Steve Bannon being convicted as with a ruler of all this democracy. There's just so nauseating hearing these people talk about the rule of law as they break laws left and right. Then you have Hunter. We don't have to get into Hunter. My God. Could you imagine if Saturday Night Live? Could you imagine what SNL and what Seth Meyers or Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert would be doing right now? If it was Donald Trump, Jr. And those photos with all these criminal acts, and now he's pleading guilty. They're probably going to get him to plead guilty after midterms because they don't want it to ruin midterms. And they don't want to convict him, but he'll plead guilty. So it's kind of like, oh, well, it's done. We don't have to talk about it anymore. It's like, no, there'll be endless investigations there. But you have people who like when people say, well, why did people vote for Trump? You have half the electorate who understand that we all understand I voted. I voted for Trump. I want a great economy and the great foreign policy and like what we have now with mashed potato brains, and somebody who actually fights politically. See, January was horrible. That was a terrible day. He should never have had those demonstrations. But there was a female unarmed supporter of Trump who had her life taken. Where's Kinzinger? And Cheney? Where's Kinsey? You're in Cheney talking about that. Where are the Democrats talking about that? Nobody cares. $1 billion to $2 billion in property damage that summer. 90 lives lost. 14,000 arrests, and they say lots of reckoning. It's like, well, it's not your property, journalist. It's calling it a reckoning. It's not your life, God forbid. And it's like, you don't condemn Kinsey and change don't condemn that. And if they don't condemn an entire summer where businesses are boarded up with signs saying, we believe your cause, we support your cause, please don't torture our business. Are you kidding me? And I support the cause, like I support 2 summers ago why people were demonstrating. But I don't support the $1 to $2 billion in property damage in 19 lives lost and 14,000 arrests. Where's the condemnation there? How do you differentiate? I've actually spoken to people that's different. Really? Why is that different? Well, there was a different calls different. Yeah, I understand that. And do you think that the people who've had their lives upended and their businesses destroyed can differentiate between one cause and another political issue? So you have half the electorate that will just believe public relations spin, and half the electorate, who has nothing to do with Trump's personality. Believe me that the left and Democrats are focused more on Trump's personality than anyone voting for him. Trump had a great economy, fact, end of story. And he wouldn't have 9.1% inflation with Trump, that's for sure. Because he wouldn't have been sued by Oil and Gas Association like Biden was, who's now Biden is also being sued by environmental groups. So you ask yourself, why are those two sides suing this man? Okay. The answer is he has no actual policies. It's just pandering in your thoughts below. Alright, thanks for being here folks, please receive a big hug from all of us. Let me know down below if